Sadakarji. Thank you very much. Now we move on to our next news. U.S. President Donald Trump has slammed the United Kingdom's plan to cede sovereignty of the Diego Garcia Island in the Chagos archipelago to Mauritius. Trump has called it an act of great stupidity, stating that it demonstrates total weakness. This comes after a deal was signed last year, allowing the UK to transfer sovereignty to Mauritius while retaining control of the strategic US-UK airbase in Diego Garcia under a 99-year lease. Trump has further linked to the move to his continuing call to acquire Greenland, citing national security reasons. Now for this discussion, we welcome Dr. Gilbert commenting on this. Isn't this a matter of Mauritius and UK and this Diego Garcia Islands, not US's place to comment?
Well, it is the United States' place to comment because the military base on Diego Garcia is shared between the United States and the UK. So the United States is definitely an interested party. Or stupid, which he's probably wanted to do for a long time. Well, he's done it. The British, the nose of the British public is out of joint. They are very upset. The special relationship that Starmer has maintained to be ongoing with Trump and with the United States has been shown to be shallow and erroneous to his planned takeover of Greenland. However, there is elements in this whole question which really do not serve Trump's purpose, and I'll be specific because they are of great interest to your audience in India and to the other islands in the Indian Ocean, most particularly Seychelles, which has followed very closely all the attempts by the Indians, by the Chinese, and others to make was created. It was created by the removal of all of the island inhabitants. And that is something that people in Greenland should look upon with enormous alarm. The United States, UK establishment of that base was, if you'd say, my goodness, that's our future. We'll all be shifted to Alaska.
Right. So how exactly, or what exactly is this importance of this island?
So it is clearly any major power that wants to have a dominant position in Africa, it is a very convenient place to be. No question about that. Now, the argument that the British would make, and this was obviously persuasive in May 2025, when the Americans did not disagree with what the British were doing, they transferred ownership of Diego Garcia, what it means to have a lease versus what it means to own a property. Let's face it, the 99-year lease may have been good for Hong Kong, but it doesn't always work. The Russians had a 40-year lease on Sevastopol. These bases that are on islands or other properties that are not owned by the force that has the base. The 99-year lease could be canceled. They have a new government in Mauritius, which is the UK and the United States handled the natives of the island, something which I tell you was very closely watched in Seychelles when I visited them 3 years ago and spoke to local political figures. They were following very closely all of the effort.
Indians over there as well?
Oh, India has been very active for logical reasons. This is, after all, the Indian sphere of influence in the world. And so they follow very closely, particularly efforts by the Chinese to move into that territory by special relationships. In the case of Seychelles, for example, almost the entire income, aside from tourism, comes from tuna fishing and other fishing. And the actual land territory of the island chain is very small, but it's the waters that it controls under.
Next discussion as well.